talk about the Washington football team. So the Washington football team defeated the Philadelphia Eagles in week 1 of the 2020 NFL season, 27-17. And a lot of people are shocked about this game. I'm not one of those people. I've been saying all off season, and people have clowned me. People have said, you're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. This team sucks. This team stinks. They're the worst team in the NFL. They're going to win 2 to 3 games. And I've been saying all off season, nope, you're wrong. Washington is the most underrated team in all football in 2020. Now, I'm not going to overreact too much to this game just because Washington, Dwayne Haskins, still a young quarterback. The offensive line is still very shaky. And let's be real, it was week number 1. Philadelphia. I would put that loss more so on Philadelphia more than Washington flexing their muscles. Even though Washington played a very good game, okay? But listen, man, I'm not going to overreact too much. I do think Washington is still about a year away. They need one more good draft. They need to add a couple of free agents, and then I'll feel really good about Washington potentially being a playoff team, especially if Dwayne Haskins continues to progress, man. But listen, man, I told you guys all off season, this is going to be a top 10. This is going to be a top 10 defense. And I'm going to take that to the bank because the Washington football team's defense, they had 8 sacks versus the Philadelphia Eagles. They forced 3 fumbles. They only allowed 57 rushing yards, and they held Carson Wentz and that crew to 17 points, okay? Chase Young, I told you guys, this guy might be the best pass rusher to come out of the draft since Myles Garrett and Khalil Mack. I told you he's better than both Bosa brothers. I told you he was going to change that defensive line. I told you Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio are a match made in heaven, coaching this kid up on defense. And Chase Young did not disappoint. Chase Young, rookie out of Ohio State at defensive end, had 2 tackles, 1.5 sacks, a forced fumble. He was very good. In Washington, they've got a ferocious defensive front. Listen, man, if you're a team, you better hope that you get out to an early lead and score first versus Washington, because if they go up 10 to 15 or 12 points on you early in the game, if they score double digits on you early, that pass rush is coming after your quarterback. It's going to be hard for you to stop this Washington football team. And it's going to be hard for you to move the football, man. Okay, listen. Jimmy Moreland, he played a great game. He had an interception versus Carson Wentz. Ronald Darby played great as well. At times he did get burned a little bit versus Jalen Reagor, but the secondary is improved. The linebackers are good. This defensive front is for real. And Ron Rivera has this team competing at a high level. And I told you, Ron Rivera is going to turn the Washington football team around. This team went down 17-0 to Philadelphia. And past Washington football teams, led by Jay Gruden, led by whoever coach was coaching that team at the time, they've had a lot of bad coaches over the years. Those teams would have laid down and said, yep, I'm dead. Nope. Washington did not do that. Ron Rivera, he made that team keep fighting. He kept that team's spirit up. Ron Rivera is going to have this team competing. They're going to play hard. They play very hard for Ron Rivera. They believe Ron Rivera is a good coach. Those people in that locker room, they did not believe in Jay Gruden last year. Ron Rivera, he's a top 10 coach. He's going to change that culture. I have all the faith in the world in Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio. And the beauty of Washington's defense being so good and Ron Rivera believing in Dwayne Haskins is now the young quarterback that used to go to Ohio State. He played Ohio State for a year. Well, not a year. He was there for several years. But Dwayne Haskins, a couple years ago, went to Ohio State, had a great season, where he threw 50 touchdown passes, fell to the Washington football team at number 15 overall. He had a rocky rookie season, but I think Dwayne Haskins, he's going to hit, okay? I fully believe Dwayne Haskins is going to hit one day. Dwayne Haskins didn't have the best day this past week. 55% completion percentage, 178 yards, 1 touchdown, 82.5 pass rating. That's good, but what I like about Dwayne Haskins is this guy has a lot of poise. This guy has a lot of confidence, and this guy is a competitor that is tough as nails. Dwayne Haskins started 3 for 11 on the day. After that, he shaked it off, went 14 for 19 down the stretch in that game, and had a touchdown and had 146 yards from that point after starting 3 and 11 on the day passing. Okay, Dwayne Haskins, this guy has the mental makeup to be a franchise quarterback. This guy has the talent to be a franchise quarterback. Mentally, Dwayne Haskins is in a different place than he was last year. You can tell. And he's also more mobile, too. Dwayne Haskins rushed for a couple yards in that game as well. Dwayne Haskins was put into a terrible situation last year, but he has been saved by the good graces are Ron Rivera. And the good thing about Dwayne Haskins is he can now develop properly, learning from, playing for a coach that believes in him, an offensive coordinator that believes in him. And guess what? He doesn't have to go out and score 30 points a game for this Washington team to win. That's the beauty of it, because this defense is so good. So Dwayne Haskins, all he needs to do is just be patient and not turn the football over and keep getting better and better each and every week. And eventually, Dwayne Haskins is probably going to manifest into a top 10 quarterback like I think that he can become. Because Dwayne Haskins, I see the arm talent. I see the accuracy. When Dwayne Haskins is at his best, he's very, very good. He's very inconsistent right now just because, he's raw. He's only got 8 starts under his belt, but I believe Dwayne Haskins is going to hit, man. I think that he got way too much hate last year for being put in a bad situation. But, man, Washington, they got a real defense, a quarterback that is young and on the rise, in my opinion, a real coaching staff that knows what they're doing. They're very good up front on the defensive side of the football. And I think that Washington is definitely a team on the rise. The Ron Rivera era in Washington, led by Chase Young and Dwayne Haskins as well, is out to a pretty darn good start, I would say. Washington is on the rise.
Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.